Hi, this is Laura Live, and it's kind of loud out here. I'm outside, I'm in some meetings, but I just had to take a break to talk to everybody. I've been hearing a lot from parents who are absolutely exhausted. They don't see light at the end of the tunnel. There's so many things to think about between therapy and biomed and getting to the doctors and getting to the therapists and school. And they want to make sure they're doing the right thing for their child, and they feel like they don't have a lot of time because the child's growing up. They have to get everything done. They don't know what that everything is. And your brain starts to hurt. It's like trying to do calculus in 15 languages. It's just too much going on. I know what you're going through. I've been there. And the only way you can do this and you can get through this is to compartmentalize your thoughts. And what I finally figured out, because literally I couldn't sleep at night for months. The first 2 years my children were diagnosed, all I could do was think about ways that I could push them forward. And sometimes I was self-defeating because I would have one person do this thing and one person do that thing, and nobody was pulling in the same direction. Take a breath, and first just think about 3 things. All those billion things you're thinking about, put it down to 3 things: therapy, diet, and Gemiini. And just think out those 3 things and get these 3 things down and done. And don't worry about everything else on the planet, the new greatest things that are out there. Get those things so that there is a habit. So if a lot of kids, even with Down syndrome, they have trouble with inflammation, and so I know a lot of parents have their kids on a milk-free diet. It says my connection is weak. So even with autism, we're doing the gluten-free, casein-free diet, and you've got to make sure you're taking a vitamin, and then make sure that you've got the live therapy. And if you can't find live therapy, that you are just getting tips from us on how you can do that yourself or using the school, and then Gemiini. And just think about those 3 things. That's all you have to think about. 3 things: therapy, diet, and Gemiini. Get everything out of your head until those things are down. Because I talk to so many parents, we're doing this probiotic, and we're doing this thing, and we're going to this special therapy, and we're doing this, and we're doing horse therapy, and we're doing this. They're doing all these things, but they're not doing anything well. They're just doing everything about 10% because they feel like, oh, I got to do this next thing, this next thing. First, stick with the first 3 things and do those well. And then, once it becomes a habit, then you don't have to think about it anymore. Remember, those 3 things are, and if you're coming in late, go back and watch it from the beginning when I sign off. 3 things: diet, Gemiini, and live therapy. That's it. Just think about that. That's enough at first. And then you will see that when you're doing those 3 things well, your child will start to make gains, and big gains. And a lot of people are paying for Gemiini, and they've got so much stuff going on that they're only using it maybe 10 minutes a week. And if they had used it an hour a day, the gains just from that would be far more than all of the stuff they've got scattered on. And I know because I've been there, done that. I'm guilty of that myself. So, hi Dana. All you need to do right now is worry about those 3 things and doing them well. Do the diet well, do therapy well, and do Gemiini for an hour a day. And just that's it. And I'm off now. I'm in a meeting outside. I have a conference going on, and I just stepped out of the hotel so I could say this because this was on my mind because I've been hearing it so much. And I'm still there. I'm still there as far as just thinking about a billion things, because now I'm thinking about everybody else's kids. And so I'm still up all night thinking about it. I said, you know what? 3 things. Again, diet, therapy, and Gemiini. Those 3 things. Everything else will come. If you do those well, you're going to see the biggest gains no matter what. Don't stop thinking about buying new contraptions that are detoxing and lasers and everything until you got those 3 things down. When those 3 things are down, then go for it. But add on 1 thing at a time, do it well, and then add another thing and do it well. And then add another thing and do it well, but just 1 thing at a time. All right, please tell me something about the diet. Okay, so quickly of the diet, it's been shown in published research. I know some people say it hasn't, but it's a lot published research, and just everybody I know, so many people, that children on the autism spectrum and even with Down syndrome have trouble with gluten, which is wheat protein, and dairy, and casein, which is milk protein. And I know in the Middle East, actually, there's a date and camel's milk diet that people use, which is, camel's milk is the only mammalian milk that doesn't have casein. So and they've got camel's milk in the Middle East, they've got a lot of it, and dates don't have gluten or casein, they have a lot of calories. So literally, a child could live on dates and camel's milk and would have all the calories they need, have a lot of vitamins, and have the minerals too, and not have any gluten and casein. So that's why that's working. But they can have rice. Literally, you can make it very simple: rice, vegetables, and meat. That's it. That's all they get. Now, if you have a lot of money and you can buy all of the gluten-free, casein-free ice cream and non-dairy ice cream and non-pasta, and they have all this stuff at Whole Foods or even grocery stores have it anyway, or different grocery stores have the gluten-free. You can do that, but it gets really complicated, and people make a huge deal out of this diet because they want their children to have a lot of variety. They don't need variety. These kids usually like to self-select. Just give them vegetables, meat, and rice every day, 3 meals a day if you need to. They'll be fine with that. Get that down. You need to see them away from gluten and away from dairy products for at least 6 months before you'll see any. And the research that was published where they said they didn't see an effect was because they only had the kids on the diet for 5 months. And most kids will not start to see anything until after 6. So if you want more information, you can look up the GFCF diet online. But Gemiini, 3 times a day. The session twice through, 3 times a day. That's the first thing you need to think about. After that, the diet. After that, live therapy where you can get it, or how you can be a live therapist to your child if you don't have it. Get that down so you're doing excellent at that, and then go on to the next thing and grab it. And we're looking at next things all the time. There's a lot of talk about this laser that's for reflexes that looks like it's very promising, and I'm looking into that. But I almost don't want to talk about it because I just want people to do those 3 things first. Get those 3 things down. All right, I'm signing off. And please put in the comments if you have any questions or comments. And don't forget to join Mary Kay Deal's discussion group, because they talk a lot about all this stuff too. But don't get confused by everything that's out there. Don't try to do everything at once. If you're a person who can get those 3 things down in 1 week, great, start next week on the next thing, but get those 3 things down first. All right, I'm signing off. Have a great day on Friday.